Why do you think that is?
It could be economic because it's almost like if you go quickly, you can get more passengers and come back quickly. But sometimes it's also just plain recklessness, and because you can go fast, but you can also be very careful whilst going fast. So the opportunity, open road, straight road, no issues, you can step on the gas, but I tend to find that a lot of people, a lot of the drivers that I was watching, especially the urban buses, and the sprinters.
Yeah.
They typically, sharp curves, they will just take off on overtake in a sharp curve. You have maybe 20 trucks lined up, and they will attempt to take all of them out.
How do the passengers feel? How do the people in your car feel about this?
Well, what I found was that a lot of the passengers, and this is my own personal experience sitting in Trotros in times past, that passengers typically don't talk. They don't say anything.
Really?
And I don't know whether it's just this typical Ghanaian thing where the person in authority, as in this case, the driver, knows all and we are okay, But I keep asking myself, don't they think about past accidents and how they possibly happened?
Well, I think usually when we talk about accidents, we are always blaming the government and the road. We rarely actually, critique the people who are driving themselves. What is their mental state? Are they, do they have some alcohol in their system? We rarely actually look at the drivers themselves.
Yeah. No, I think that a lot of people who drive, and I wouldn't say many of them, but there should be a fair number of drivers who drive who are not properly certified and properly trained.
Wow.
Because if you do your random sampling, as people have done before, I mean, there's the media space, you've done all these kind of things before, you will find that even road signs, they don't even know what things mean on the roads, So how did they get certified? It just calls into question all our training, certification processes and all of those things. And so it's not surprising to me when you read the numbers, the statistics, and the accidents are happening so many times, especially on the highways, on the Western Corridor, Because the Western Corridor, I don't know, I don't have the facts and figures in front of me, but I keep hearing more accidents from that side, more so than other parts of the country.
But why don't passengers also speak up and say, hey, driver, slow down? Because at the time I engage a driver, I've paid him, so he's rendering me a service.
Of course.
So I also have a say in the way he's driving the vehicle.
We don't think like that. So we assume that once I'm sitting in the vehicle, it's his responsibility, and whatever happens, And so if people are even nervous about the way he's driving, they will complain to each other and not to the driver. They'll say, hey, now, drive away.
He's going to kill us.
Hey, and they don't engage the driver. They talk to each other. You see, I refuse.
Is that because we are afraid that, for example, people like me, I don't have a license. So I'm like, how could I possibly know what he's doing, or how can I direct him?
Well, that's a typical driver's comeback, and says that I'm the driver. Relax, I've got you. But I can see what you're doing is unacceptable. And for me, I don't care what anybody says. If I'm in one of those vehicles, I don't accept it.
But how do they react when you speak up? Do they all look at you like, why are you?
Initially, they're like, who's that? And what's he doing? What's he saying? Then, when they realize you're not going to back down, then you find one or two joining you in shutting down the driver, slowing down the driver, basically
making sure he does what he needs to do, so you guys get there safely.
Look, listen, the last time I did this was in a vehicle from, I think it was from Kintampo through Kumasi to Accra. And when I screamed at the driver, I must have been going on ranting for about 5-7 minutes.
He didn't care.
No, at all. Wow. But by the time people realized I wasn't going to back down, right, they joined me. I had 3-4 people joining me, and once the voices raised up in the vehicle, the driver slowed down.
Wow.
But here's the thing. he now slowed down to the point where it was ridiculous. It was like,
well, he's trying to prove a point.
He's now going to show us. If we say he should slow down, he will slow down. Okay? Now, I don't care. The point is that I want to arrive
safely. Yeah,
and I want to arrive in one piece. So I don't. If you're going to play like that, I don't care. Slow down. It's better than the reckless driving.
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy you got to Accra safely without any scratches
well,
or
it's
anything.
Good to be here.
And hopefully the people in the car also learned, right, that sometimes you have to speak up. I think.
Yeah, I know. I think it's a difficult problem all across different sectors of our society. Not just even the vehicles, but
is it a cultural thing where we're like, you're the person of authority, I don't want to undermine your authority?
And notice that social media allows people to vent easier because
quietly.
It's faceless.
Yeah.
You don't see my face, so I can feel free to say what I like. But once you can see my face, then I'm quiet. I won't say it. Even to the point where people say, "Don't tell him I told you, but this and this is what is happening." What's up with that?
Yeah.
What are you afraid of if it's the truth and if it's something that we have to deal with?
And if it's the right thing to do.
If it's the right thing to do.
Exactly. That's the most important thing.
So,
if it's the right thing to do. Then
yeah. No, we need a lot of help. The society needs a lot of help.
We'll get there. But I had a great weekend. We're still celebrating City at 14.
Yeah.
So we went to the Cedar Mountain Church. It was amazing on Sunday.
You look like you're in the spirit, but I was watching the clip.
No, it was, it's not easy. You would know. Being an entrepreneur is not easy, right? So to be able to grow a company to 14 years, right? We're now a teenager, right?
And it's not just 14 years, but 14 years of this size and significance. Because for me, that's the important thing. You can be around for, age is really just a number. What have you done in those years? And for me, that's the significance of City. The 14 years of significance.
And what I like is that we still have that, startup mentality of there's still room to grow. There's still room to grow. We've not arrived yet.
I think that's
right?
very
so
important.
It was very humbling to experience it with the entire team, be in church. Of course, that church is a very big part of the company. So it was refreshing. It was nice. Yeah.
No. I saw everybody in their very
beautiful church attire.
Yeah, it was exciting. I almost wish I wasn't in Takwa.
Oh, you could have joined us. We had a blast. And the service was amazing. The preacher talked about not just being a worker, right, but actually living, purposefully. And of course, Samuel's got up to talk about. He's always saying, the path is lonely, but then there are people who support you down the way that are important to motivate you to get you to where you need to be. And I'm paraphrasing here, but that was the essence.
No, I in many ways I think that they say that there's very little traffic on the extra mile, right? I think that what Siemens has done is not just the extra mile; it's the extra 20 miles, and so it will only get lonelier and lonelier and lonelier because really you're just out there on your own pushing an agenda that you see in your mind and you understand. But a lot of people don't necessarily have what you see in their sights, and that makes it more tough and challenging. And so kudos to him for leading the team. And I think kudos to the entire team.
Happy birthday, City. 14 years old. But on another side, on Friday night, actually, from let's say Wednesday, I started realizing a trend on social media. It started with my co-host Wilberforce complaining that his lights were off. So I was initially just laughing at him. I'm like, your lights are off. Then the next day, our producer, Doug Mensopuk, also complained. Then I realized almost 40% of all my Facebook friends were complaining that they don't have electricity. And I'm like, what is going on? Is Dumsor back? Or are they just the unlucky,
what's the issue?
The unlucky few, And then so we started asking around. We actually posted on our City FM Facebook page, is Dumsor back? Something like that. And people started sending in messages, and we realized that, Teshi had Dumsor, parts of Adenta, Dansoman, East Airport. We actually went to eat after church. And the lights went out at the restaurant.
Well, when I was in Takwa, the lights went off.
You're kidding?
Yeah. The lights went off.
So what's going on?
Yeah, so no. I think that there, whatever it is, there's some kind of a challenge going on.
It's crazy. Mlemle, Newtown, Santa Maria, Bashona, South Wager had lights off for 6 hours on Friday. Wow. 6 hours. Wow. Lights were out.
No. So I think communication is very important, and whatever is going on, we need to hear clearly and transparently from the officials that be as to what is it that is going on. Because yes, it's fine to say, because I heard that the minister said that
the Minister for Energy.
Yes, he said Dumso is a thing of the past.
Oh yeah, I think the finance minister said
whatever has happened, it's not Dumso. But I think that we need to be more clear with the Ghanaian populace, because whatever is going on, you can't have power outage for 3 days and expect me to believe that it's not a big deal.
A technical glitch.
It's not a big deal. Yeah. I think it's easy to politically sound, correct and say no. Dumso belongs to someone else, not us. Yeah. But I think that we are going through a reality. And let it not be, because I have noticed reading some of the comments, on the question that we asked on Facebook.
Yes.
Reading some of the comments, I noticed that some people take the position that it's an opposition party ploy to get a whole lot of people to respond to the question that was asked. Is Dumso bad?
That's a thing that I don't like.
It muddies the waters, and it almost belittles our intelligence.
It does, and some government officials have this thing of, Roosevelt's famous quote of the man in the arena and everybody criticizing you.
Yeah.
Not everyone is out to criticize the government. Sometimes we really just want to know what's going on, and we're just giving you feedback.
Yes.
Right? It's not always that we're trying to be spectators or we're trying to join the bandwagon of the minority. If we've not had electricity for 2-3 days, we need to know what is going on.
Yeah.
And I don't think Ghanaians are so cynical that we won't believe it or we won't care. We would actually work with the government, right? But we need to hear from them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
no. I don't know. Maybe I could read some of the comments.
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. So the question that was asked was, "Is Dumso back in your area? What's going on?" So Priscilla Inkum says it's very bad at Greater Estates every day.
Wow.
Jennifer Prola says my boy and I can't sleep.
Wow.
MC Kofi Peter says all these people complaining about Dumso are NDC. We, the MPP, have light. Stop the propaganda.
Seriously.
Okay? So you see what I'm saying?
Seriously, let's not make everything political, guys.
It's
not.
Yeah,
it's not that ECG is there like NDC off, NPP on.
I know, right? I mean, it's like
that's actually not a good thing for NPP.
Where are the people? Let's target their houses. Turn their lights off, kind of thing. Anyway, still wondering why. After the lights went out, people in my neighborhood are shouting Mahama. All right. And that was K Banky. All right. So, Laughter Yao Darlinson says, Dansuman Junction, we are enjoying car lights.
Oh, my God. That's terrible.
Daniel Yao Ndo says, sitting outside to cool off before I enter that oven. Mahama is still in charge. Okay, so he asked the question there. Shadrach God's Plan says, well, I think it's only affecting Ghanaians. Listen to this. We are not experiencing anything like this in Transvolta, Togoland.
Maybe
my
we should have stayed with
condolences to
Togo.
Ghanaians. They have very good hearts. Okay. Joseph Parkweku Wale says, I can't even see my bed.
Aww.
I can't even see where my bed is located in my own room. Darkness.
That is sad.
And there's many more. There's many more comments. If we have time, we can read
crazy. But it's really sad. I mean, we laugh about these things, but I can't imagine us going back to, this around this time in 2014, where we had no electricity. You can go for 3-4 days. I have friends who are entrepreneurs who are manufacturing, and they're like, I can't do anything. I'm literally sitting around till the electricity is back.
Oh, it's
Like, so
real.
not only are you losing human capital, we're not being productive, and we're just wasting away. Right? So energy is really, really, really important, and we deserve to hear something from our officials.
I remember in 2014, as you alluded to it. I'm a photographer, as you know, and at that time I had studio lights that depended strictly on being plugged in. You know, not a battery packs, right? Yeah. So one of the days, and I had different situations, but there was just one particular day that it was a very, very important photo shoot that was happening in my studio, and the client had come. This is a very high-profile person, so client had come. In fact, they had sent an advance party with clothes and makeup, and everybody was in position, ready to go. There's no issue, no light. As soon as
they entered,
he walks through the door.
Wow.
The lights went off.
It's crazy.
That was the end of it. I mean, that's the end of it, literally. So I didn't have any backup power. So hey, we have to reschedule
it's crazy.
the shoot.
Do you get me? And we don't actually put a cost to all of this
because there's a big cost to it.
It's ridiculous. Even the psychological cost of sitting around, your phone is dead, your laptop is dead, you have no means of communication.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if some people's businesses literally shut down
as
good.
a result of that. I have a friend, Eyal Jemfi, the founder of Pini.
Okay.
I'll go to his manufacturing space and he would just be sitting there like, we're competing against Chinese manufacturers. Now I have to spend so much money to fuel the generator. Customers are not going to understand why I'm increasing my prices. Already, they are not buying locally made goods because the prices are, costly. All these things we don't put into consideration when we talk about energy, and I think it's really sad. I mean, after a long day of work, you're really looking forward to going home, relaxing. You get home and there's no electricity. You have to worry about all the stuff in the fridge that you have to figure out what to do with it. It's a burden no one deserves to carry.
I posted on Facebook, I think it was sometime last week, Wednesday or Thursday, and I was talking about disco lights because that's literally what was happening in my house. At that point I had to get up and turn certain things off till when the power comes back, it should be stable, because you see, what was happening was that it would come on, and then 3-4 minutes later it goes off. And then a minute later it's back on.
And it
did that at least 20 times.
Wow.
Yeah. So at a point, I think maybe after about 10 times, I was like, you know what? This is crazy. Let me just turn everything off. So all the key things, I just turn them off. Let the lights do the disco thing, that it wants to do till it's ready. That's what made me think that maybe there's a fault, and it wasn't necessarily a doomsday situation.
But they should communicate it. Do you get me? Like, just communicate with us that, guys, this is what's going on. Turn off your gadgets around this time. We will cooperate with them. I don't think we would ignore it and say we don't care. Ghanaians want to know. And people are complaining on social media, irrespective of whether we hear from the officials or we don't. Ghanaians are speaking up. They are worried. They don't know what's going on. We thought the days of doomsday were behind us. It shouldn't be the case, and I think we need to do better.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
But on a lighter side, so it's still a beautiful Monday morning.
It is.
Last Monday of the month, actually.
Yeah.
Next Monday we'll be in December.
Yes, looking forward to December.
Are you looking forward to December?
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to December.
What does December mean to you?
Many different things. Many different things. First of all, holiday season approaching, business-wise. For a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, business tends to pick up around that time. For me, it's been quite steady generally through December because I do more corporate work than social work. This year, what will probably make a difference is that I'm picking up my social work side of things, so I expect to also have a bit more business.
Did you set that goal for yourself this year, that I want to work in this?
Yes, absolutely.
And how did you work towards all the goals you set for yourself?
Well, it's been interesting because I think that there's a certain component, and this for me, I think is the biggest takeaway from my goal setting for the year, is that the spiritual component to business is critical Because many times we think about the numbers, we think about the clients, we think about the market, we think about the dynamics of what's happening in the market, your competition, and so on. But we forget that there's also the grace that you just need, that milieu in which you swim.
How do you get the grace?
Well, I think that it's important to understand that there is a higher power. There is, for me, God, who we have to deal with. And if his hand of grace and blessing is on you, I think that what tends to happen is that the effort you put in yields twice the results. Do you see? You can put in the effort and not have many returns, but just his hand being on you gives you that, And I found that particularly because the 2 halves of my year, first half and second half, are like night and day.
How?
Because I took a decision in June, July, that I was going to be very serious about making sure that my senior partner in my business is my God, in whom I trust. Hitherto, I was sort of like taking the bull by the horns and dealing with it myself, And trust me, by August, everything flipped.
Wow.
It was like night and day. It was just incredible.
That's
I've had a blast this second half of the year.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had an amazing time the second half of the year.
Wow.
So
the faith component
I think it's
is
important for people to understand
whatever it is that they believe in. Just have faith in something.
And I think that it's important not to destroy what you're building with your own mouth.
How do you do that?
Because a lot of people do this and say, Ghana is so difficult.
I was actually with my friend over the weekend said Ghana is hot.
Yeah. As soon as you say that, you
manifest. You're calling it into being. Yeah.
You're creating. You're responsible for whatever you say. You're creating your own world. It may be a present, temporary reality, but say what you're looking for. Say what you want to experience,
and work towards that as well.
As you're working hard towards it, keep it in mind that this is what I'm trying to achieve, and so things are getting better.
But is it also important to be flexible about the means? Because I think sometimes we have this vision of this is what I want, and it has to go exactly the same way, as opposed to being flexible about how you get your ultimate goal.
You don't control the wind that blows.
Yeah.
You can only control the sail of your boat. So as long as you're controlling the sail of the boat, if the wind changes direction, that's not in your power. You don't decide that.
But sometimes entrepreneurs are like, it has to be this way.
You just have to be ready for the wind that blows to change direction. And be prepared that as soon as the wind changes direction, you're also going to change the set of your sail so that you catch the wind and keep going.
I think that's a brilliant way to end this. Thank you. Thank you at home for being with us. You don't control the wind, you just control
the sail. Yeah.
Okay, remember that. So let's be a bit flexible about the way we achieve our goals. This is Breakfast Daily on City TV. Now remember, we want to keep this interactive, so always use the hashtag Breakfast Daily. And the WhatsApp line is 0550-585-832. My name is Jifa Ekia Ametam.
And I am David Kweku Sechi, a.k.a.
Kweku David. Don't go anywhere. News reviews next.
Regular news checks as they unfold. 2020 news all day, all the time. Politics, sports, entertainment, business, and more.
And that's all for 2020 news on City TV. All the news in 20 minutes.
This is The Point of View. We are live on City TV this and every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m.
Tune in to The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guests, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day.
All that the industry is saying is that this tax will be incident on the person it's intended to. But when it comes to the pricing itself, individual pricing, not only are the telcos even pricing for everybody. Bernard, I don't know which network you're on. The price you get on your network will be different from the price I get. So in terms of competition amongst our members, it's as intense as anything.
The Point of View with Bernard Affle, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on City TV.
Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily on City TV. Now we're going to start the news review, starting with the Daily Graphic. So the Daily Graphic says here, government doesn't intend to increase presidential staffers. That's coming from the Information Minister Kojo Oppong Nkrumah. That story is on page 20 of the Daily Graphic. We'll bring all programs to fruition. That's coming from the President, and that story is on page 16 of the Daily Graphic. MTN tops Ghana Club 100. Congratulations to MTN. That story is on pages 32 and 65 of the Daily Graphic. Now, finally, hope for bile liver cancer patients. 120 surgeries performed at Kolebu so far. That's an amazing story, and you can read more on that on page 3 of the Daily Graphic. Now let's move on to the Ghanaian Times. The Ghanaian Times says here, I will build National Cathedral to the glory of God. That's coming from our President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and that story is on page 16 of the Ghanaian Times. Zoom Lion Church of Pentecost Environmental Care Campaign takes off. Story on page 18 of the Ghanaian Times. Government secures $100 million for TVET. That story is on page 17. No increase in number of staffers at presidency. It's coming from the Information Minister Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, and that story is also on page 17. Mugabe unable to walk. The 94-year-old former president of Zimbabwe has been ill for a while now. He's unable to walk. That story is on page 5 of the Ghanaian Times. Now let's look at what we have in the New Crusading Guide. The New Crusading Guide says, Bagbin will win massively against Mahama. That's coming from the NDC heavyweights, and that story is on page 10 of the New Crusading Guide. I will not contest Ejako's seat, declares Protozoa. So he's not going to contest the former Honorable Ejako's seat. National Cathedral a must, President emphasizes. That story is on pages 3 and 10 of the New Crusading Guide. Paperless has reduced cost time of port transactions. That's coming from the AGI. Pentecost Church starts nationwide clean-up exercise at Kasoa, also in the New Crusading Guide. And finally, Baumia celebrates UN Medal Day with peacekeepers in Lebanon. So the Vice President is celebrating the UN Medal Day with peacekeepers in Lebanon. Now we'll move on to the Daily Heritage. The Daily Heritage says, 9 Trek courts 311 times without trial. Judge begs Akufo-Addo to grant pardon to decongest prisons. That story is on page 3 of the Daily Heritage. Stop the divisive propaganda. Angry NDC delegates fume at media. So the NDC delegates are not happy with the media, and they're asking to stop the divisive propaganda. That story is on page 2. Kofi eyes WEM NDC seat. That story is on page 5. And Akufo-Addo saved ATL from shutting down. That's coming from the Minister of Trade and Industry, Honorable Alan Kyerematen. That story is also on page 10 of the Daily Heritage. Now we'll take a quick look at the Chronicle. The Chronicle says here, the dead goat has to wait. That's coming from the president, and he quotes here, in their desperation to get power, they are prepared to do anything. What is the purpose of coming back to power? To create, loot, and share. So the president is critiquing the minority, and that story is on pages 2 and 3 of the Chronicle. Krobos in Begoro vow to defend their land. And long walk to peace in Dakbon. That is a story by Ebo Kwanzaa. Fuel diverters offer 30,000 Ghana cedi bribe. Fuel diverters offer 30,000 Ghana cedi bribe. And we'll just take a look at the Informer. The Informer says here, habitual lateness to programs, MMDCEs made to recite national pledge. So all the MMDCEs who are habitually late to programs are being made to recite the national pledge. And that story is on page 4 of the Informer. Health Director warns nurses, dress well or get fired. That story is on page 5 of the Informer. Of rising spate of corruption, social injustice, others, Rawlings calls for new movement to ensure probity and accountability. That story is on page 3 of the Informer. And finally, rising case of malaria in Africa, Ghana among 10 top endemic countries. That is a very sad one, and that story is on page 4 of the Informer. Now we're done with the newspapers. We'll take a look at some online stories. I'll read from citynewsroom.com. First story says here, Ghana's debt increases to 170.8 billion Ghana cedis. That's coming from the BOG. National Cathedral will be built to the glory of God. National Cathedral will be built to the glory of God. That's coming from the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Fuare Gnassingbe meets Nana Addo again over Togo political crisis. And there's another one here from the Information Minister. List of presidential staffers going down, not up. NDC united and poised for victory in 2020. That's coming from Neil Ante van der Poy. And I already mentioned this. So you can find out more stories on citynewsroom.com. Now we'll just quickly introduce our guest and then delve into the matters. So we've been joined by Eric Amoako-Twum, who is a government spokesperson, and later we'll be joined by Honorable Inusa Fussaini, who is the MP of Tamale Central. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Is it a solo program this morning?
Wilberforce is not feeling well today, unfortunately. But I know that Honorable Ejako passed away last week, so if you want to share any thoughts before we start the program,
good morning once again, and then good morning to the viewers. It's rather an unfortunate incident. I think that it was one of the regulars on
Breakfast
Daily, and then also even on your FM station.
The big issue.
It's one of those things that, as humans, it's almost inevitable. But when it does happen, especially when you find someone who is that vibrant, it's extremely unfortunate. And I think that our condolences will still go to the immediate family, And the bigger family, which is the MPP fraternity, and even if you like the whole Ghanaian political fraternity, and some of us actually knew him quite closely, which is really sad. But we hope that the good Lord would keep him in his bosom and basically bless him. He has contributed his quota to this country, and it's important that we also take a cue from that and contribute ours. That's all I can say. It's extremely sad, but we have to essentially pray that his soul is in the right place. And of course, the people of the MPP fraternity would give him a befitting send-off.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Honorable Ras Mubarak saying that his constituency shouldn't be touched?
Well, I think that our democracy is still quite a very young one if you compare that to other democracies. We're still essentially a fledgling democracy. Some of the things that we have done over the period has centered on making sure that we follow the Constitution to the letter. But then, as we go along, once it's not set in stone, and it's not meant to be that static or dogmatic, I think that we can be dynamic about it, and if there anything to go by, listen to the various arguments that are coming in terms of if, for instance, there's a sitting member of parliament belonging to a political party, is there the need to go for a full-blown election? And if that is the case, then the political party is required to go through some processes to elect or select somebody to take that particular position. But you know, the fact that it's also constitutional, so if you're not careful, someone might decide to contest that in courts, because you can't, if it's a convention, but you can't force anybody, even an independent candidate can decide that they want to contest, because once the seat is vacant, it's vacant. So this whole assertion that only political parties should be enjoined not to present a candidate might look okay on paper, but in practical terms, how are you able to do that if an individual, once the seat becomes vacant, and somebody decides that they want to contest as an independent candidate? The Constitution allows them to do so. But these are things that we can probably predict or preempt in a way and decide that, okay, we want to cure that particular mischief in our Constitution, if that's what we want to do. Fair enough.
Excellent. So we'll delve into our first topic. I'm reading from page 20 of the Daily Graphic, and it says here, government doesn't intend to increase presidential staffers. That's coming from the Information Minister, Kojo Oppong Nkrumah. So the Information Minister, Mr. Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, Honorable Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, has denied claims that the government intends to increase staffers in the office of the president from the current 998 to 1,614. I'm going to quote him briefly. He says, the makers of the claim have either confused the office of government machinery with the office of the presidency or are only up to political mischief. Contrary to the claim, staff members of the office of the presidency and even the office of government machinery are rather going through a programmed reduction. So specifically, he's saying that the office of the president, for avoidance of doubt, is expected to reduce by 69 by the end of 2019. And there's also a net reduction of 83 staff at the Office of Government Machinery by the end of 2019. So this is mostly as a result of people who are going to retire and who are not going to be replaced. So Eric, what exactly is going on? Because a couple of days ago we heard that, you know, we're going to increase the staffers, and now the Minister of Information is saying no. Can you explain that?
Well, it's again a classic NDC tactic to essentially throw dust in the eyes of the public. Because if you go to the documents that they were actually referencing, which was the 2018 budget statement, and then the 2019 budget statement. It's quite clear and evident that that number has actually reduced. In 2018, the number at the office of the president was 785. In 2019, it's going to be 716. And the Constitution enjoins that at every budget reading, the numbers of people that actually work at the office of the president and all the entire government machinery is actually made known. And it's quite clear evidence in there that that is the case. Apart from that, there are 19 agencies under the office of government machinery. And all of these agencies have staff members that actually work there. Aside that, you have about close to 240 individuals who work for various agencies that are seconded to the office of the president. So, of course, as part of the fact that they actually work at that point on a daily basis at the office of the president, that is added to the numbers. But they don't even draw their salaries from the office of the president. So, for instance, you're talking
so those
about,
guys are going to increase?
No, there's no increasing at all.
Okay.
Right. So, for instance, you take people from the PWD Prestige, you take the Ghana National Service, you take people from National Security, police personnel, and all of those people, internal audit agency, who are seconded from their agencies to work at the office of government machinery. So it's essentially purely mischief. But if you want to play mischief like that, you just have to go to the document, which we can't lie about. So it's stated categorically there that in 2018, the numbers that were presented were 785. In 2019, 716, which is a variance of minus 69. If you take MEDA, for instance, they have a staff strength of 64. It's increased by 1 to 65. Some of them have maintained. For instance, under SADA, because at the point there was no NDA, which is the Northern Development Authority, they were under the office of the Ministry for Special Initiatives. Now that they it's become an authority, they are no more under the Office of Government Machinery. So, I mean, it is just one of those things that they threw out there to cause mischief, to confuse people. Because the document is there, and they have the budget, they are in Parliament. And so for them to even just do a cursory comparison of the figures, they decided to go to town with mischief.
Okay, because the document I saw also showed that the numbers were high. But let's bring in Honorable Inusaf Hussaini here, who is the MP of Tamale Central. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Well, you can't complain.
Good, so we are discussing presidential staffers, right? On the one hand, we heard that they were going to increase, but the information minister says, no, that's just mischief. And Eric here, who's a government spokesperson, is also agreeing with him that there's some form of mischief going on because the numbers are actually going to decrease, not increase.
Eric says that's mischief.
Yes.
And he's holding the document.
Yes.
And you have a document that shows higher numbers.
No. Let's
hear from
what
you.
Document does he have? The document has to be the budget. What document?
Yes. It's the same. Let's hear from you. Let's hear from you.
It's the same. Office of the President is a big office. It includes MASLOC, it includes all the development agencies, it includes minister.
Maybe you're confusing. There's Office of the President and there's Office of Government Machinery. So you're talking about two different things. So Office of the President has a staff strength as we speak. By the end of 2019, it will be 716. By 2018, it was 785. The numbers that were presented last year of 998 was as a result of the 240 or so individuals who were seconded from the various agencies.
But they're still workers
and
of
they're
still part of the staff,
that
right?
number has actually reduced to 230.
But I thought
those guys are still
Eric
part
had
of the
finished.
staff.
No, I'm done.
He's
But
just
you were
clarifying.
intentionally going on a minute.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead.
Let's
The budget was presented to me representing the people of Tamale Central.
Okay, go ahead.
I was given a copy. I don't know whether you have a copy of the budget.
I have that
And
particular
we've done an
portion.
analysis of the budget.
Okay.
And we are saying that the numbers are going to increase. And I'm saying that Office of the President, Office of Government Machinery, and Eric is trying to show me the difference. Can you just imagine? Eric, when you look, you see, transparency and accountability are the hallmarks of good governance.
Okay.
And these two twin principles found integrity. The integrity of office holders will greatly be damaged if it is founded on deception.
So you can present an alternative
for us. You say
document.
Nothing is going to increase.
Yes.
I say go to page 203. Go to expenditure. Now go to capital expenditure. You will see clearly that other expenditures are there. 2,283 million Ghana cedis will be spent on other expenditures. What are these expenditures?
Let's focus on the staff.
So,
respectfully, Honorable. Let's focus on the president. Okay, go ahead.
The staff.
Yeah.
Now, so is it an attempt to hide the expenditure where it has no description? I've mentioned the page. I've mentioned where the item is, and I've said that there is no description whatsoever of that expenditure.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the offices that come under the machinery of government and under the presidency have continuously increased.
But that is not the case.
Well,
let him finish.
Right,
because
it's not the case.
This is let me just quote Honorable Samuel Kudjeto Ablakwa. He says, "I am deeply worried about the refusal of President Akufo-Addo's government to listen to the people of the country. When the presidential staffers list of 998 was presented to this House, there was national outrage. We are informed that the Office of the Government Machinery intends to employ 1,614 people." So how did he arrive at this number?
No, first of all, it says information.
Yes.
Okay. The information will come from the people who will be working in the various offices under the office of the president. And not at the Flagstaff House.
Yeah.
Eric, I think you get it. Not at the Flagstaff House.
The Jubilee House.
The Jubilee House. Under the office of the president. And they include persons working in the office of the Minister for Special Initiatives. To the development authorities. All of them, to Maslock. To many other offices that have been established under the office of the president. And they constitute the staff of that office. And that's what we're just saying. We're saying that that number will increase. And I'm saying that when you tie it with a non-descriptive item of expenditure in the budget at page 203, it will lead you to the conclusion that about $500 million dollars. That's 2,283 million Ghana cedis will be spent on an item that is not described in that budget.
You see, I think that we have to be very. He's using words like integrity and transparency and all of those things. It's also imperative that all the things that we do is anchored in some kind of principles and values. You have the budget. You have the 2018 budget. It states categorically that the entire number, including Office of the President.
You're not reading from the budget.
No, I have the budget. I don't have it there. Yeah, right. And I'm just giving you an example. I said you have the budget.
Yes.
That number.
It's not stated in the budget.
That number.
Respectfully, allow him to make his point, and then you can respond.
That number.
Thank you.
Stands at 1,697. Maslock, NIA, NDA at the time, Internal Audit Agency, Ghana Investment Promotion, National Population Council, Office of the Administrator General, Ghana AIDS Commission, Scholarship Secretariat, State Protocol,
and
Council
all these
of
numbers
State
are going to increase.
Officer. No,
they are not increasing.
It has actually reduced by 83.
Okay.
And I'm saying that they can reference the document. Now, for you to juxtapose or try to bring a certain line item in the budget and now try to make a correlation between that and numbers that are going to be employed that are being hidden. It's mere conjecturing and speculation, right? So you understand? Because let's stick to the facts. Is it a case that the number even at the Office of the President has reduced by 69? It has. Right, and for instance, you are in
Well,
Parliament. You have the opportunity to scrutinize and be able to bring clarity to the matter. So to go out there with a certain sense of, okay, let's throw this out there, let's add some things to it and create a certain perception that government is actually increasing the numbers, which is not the case. That is pure mischief, and we can go on and on and on about it, but the truth of the matter is that the facts are there for everybody to see, and he is in Parliament, right? So what are the numbers? If you had alternative numbers, or the numbers that you feel that are being put are untrue and there's more, go out and bring it. But you can't create this thing. We've created this person. Okay, let's put something out there. Let the person that is actually being accused be the one that is meant to come out and actually absolve themselves. It's neither here nor there. Right? It's almost like red herrings. Let's put it out there. Let's get them to come and defend. When it's clear on the ground. It is.
In 2017, you got 700, a little below 800 people as staffers of the Office of the President.
Yes.
In 2018, you got 998. And so what assures you that it will increase?
No, but that is speculation and conjecture.
No, the document actually said in 2017 there were 953 staffers, and in 2018 you go to 998. Right, and in 2019 you're going to go to over 1,000.
No, but that's
what's going on there. That is the fact.
But listen,
and that fact shows that the numbers have increased from 953 in 2017. To 998 in 2018 to over 1,000 in 2019.
Miseducating.
Okay, so educate us. Educate us, because there's some
the numbers that you're talking about is Office of the President.
Okay.
And there's Office of Government Machinery.
So the numbers are increasing.
It hasn't. No, it hasn't increased.
Okay.
It has actually reduced. The Office of the President in 2018 was 785. And then you add the 240 or so who are seconded from various agencies who do not actually draw their salaries.
So you do agree that the presidential staffers have increased?
It hasn't increased.
Okay.
It has actually reduced.
Okay.
Right now, when you in the budget, you add all the various agencies that fall under Office of Government Machinery, which already exists. So GIPC already exists in this country. MIDA, the DIC, Office of Senior Minister, was there. Council of State, State Protocol Department, Ghana AIDS Commission. None of these things have reduced. Some of them have actually had a reduction in personnel. So if you do the maths, there's actually been a reduction by 83. So this, you've been hoodwinked. You've been hoodwinked.
Okay, because the confusion.
You've been hoodwinked. You've been hoodwinked by the minority.
The confusion is Eric.
No, you've been hoodwinked by the minority to confuse the Office of the President with Office of Government Machinery, and that is deliberate.
We all understand that perhaps the Office of the President staffers have decreased. But when you look at the entire government machinery, it comes across as though there's an increase there.
It hasn't.
It hasn't increased.
It hasn't at all.
Honourable.
Well,
do you
that's
agree?
the new reality of that is being defined by Eric and probably the NPP government.
Okay.
That whereas we all see it,
and that's what the information minister is saying.
Rising from the east, they have seen the sun rising from the west.
Okay.
So that's a new reality. So we have to wait. Now there are many questions in the budget, and this statement made by Honourable Samuel Okudjato came out when he was contributing on the floor of the House on the budget statement presented by the Minister of Finance on behalf of the President. And there are many more to follow. I mean, you can't purport to hide what belongs to the people of Ghana in the budget and expect that that budget will not be scrutinized.
Yeah.
It will be scrutinized, and that we must find value for the resources that are being expended in the development of this country. So, Eric, there's more to come.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you, Honourable.
We are more than ready for that.
Thank you at home for being with us. We are discussing the Information Minister saying government does not intend to increase presidential staffers. He says that number is actually going to go down. Let us hear your thoughts with the hashtag Breakfast Daily and the WhatsApp line 0550-585-832. Don't go anywhere. News Review continues.
TV is live. City TV is a free-to-air digital channel. On a digital TV, please press menu on your remote control and run a news search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a multi-TV digibox. Tune into City TV and experience your world. City TV, it's your world.
Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily on CCTV. Thank you so much for being with us now. Before the break, we were discussing Minister of Information, Kojo Nkrumah, saying that the number of presidential staffers are not going to increase, they are going to decrease. But we'll segue into the energy sector. Adam Mutawakilu is speaking up and he says Dumsor is coming back. I know a few of you were complaining about Dumsor over the week. So according to the minority member of parliament in Mines and Energy Committee, Adam Mutawakilu, he says the country has enough resources to provide adequate power, and the irregular power situation is clear indication of government's mismanagement of these resources. So we want to look at that, and we want to, let me just quote briefly. He attributed the blackout to a drop in gas pressure at Abuaze, which caused a reduction in power generation from the west. It is evident that Dumsor is coming back. The excuses given by VRA and Gridco are not reasonable. If you talk about Abuaze thermal plant having challenges, we have excess power of 804 megawatts. So they should have excess capacity in the power sector so that when one plant goes down, another one functions. So that explanation given should not be accepted by Ghanaians. They should take it with a pinch of salt. On the other hand, the energy minister is also speaking up, and he's saying that we are nowhere near Dumsor. It is a thing of the past. So, Honorable, let's hear from you. What's going on in the energy sector?
Well, Dumsor is back.
Oh, but the energy minister just said we're nowhere near Dumsor.
In my area, the whole day, didn't have lights. And it's not only, it started from Kwabenya, St. John's actually, throughout to Kwabenya and Comet. I mean, I was shocked, I was surprised. And it's not as if to say, I mean, I worked at the Ministry of Energy, and sometimes you can have power outages by reason of a defective transformer. But this was a collapse of the system. This was power management. Power management is simply what we call Dumsor. That when we don't have enough installed capacity or available capacity to go around, if you put all the distance on, the lights on, distribute all the power, you'll not be able to go around, but you put a lot of strain, pressure on the equipment, and so you have a system collapse. The whole equipment will break down.
Wow.
And so you have to ration the power. In rationing the power, you have to put some places off and others on so that the power can go around. Now, and you do that taking in mind that fridges, if your fridge or refrigerator is frozen, it will take more than 6 hours to defreeze. And so when you put it off maximum 6 hours, your food will still be safe in the system. It is when it goes beyond. Now, we need not come to that.
Yeah.
Okay? Everywhere in the world, there is no machine that will run 24 hours, 7 times a week, 365 days. There's no machine like that. And so you need redundancies. Okay? You need to have standby generators or power systems. These are what we call technically redundancies. And so that if you put out a machine for maintenance, there is another machine to come on. So when you are in America, it happens. But you don't see it because it is so automatic and immediate. Okay? Because the machines have to rest, they have to service the machines and all those things. Now, but when you don't have enough machines in the system, you will need to put off power for a very long time.
Okay.
And that is the Dumsor. Why have we come? We suffered that. And businesses suffered. And so the NDC government under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, I still remember the famous punchline of John Dramani Mahama, I will fix them so. And he embarked on the vigorous campaign to ensure that we had the requisite number of generating sets, generating machines for power, so that we could assure the people of this country industry the availability of power. Now, we also knew that we needed to deal with the legacy debts. For a long time, remember when President Kufuor came into office in 2001, one of the justifications for increasing the price of fuel was to deal with the pim at all.
Okay, we get it. We get it, yes.
Good. And so that's legacy debt. He never finished dealing with that. Okay, and so NDC passed an ESLA to deal with that.
Yeah.
And so, and within a period of 10 years, we're going to clear everything and provide the energy sector with the level of sustainability
it needs,
so that you could go to the world market, the financial markets, to take money to be able to run. We wanted them to run on market-oriented principles, so that they declare profit at the end of the day. What do we say?
Well, the energy minister is speaking, and what he says is, number one is to get some light crude oil as a substitute for some of the plants that are dualized. Like the gas is not available, we should be able to use the light crude oil as a substitute. So you agree with him on that one. We are working day in, day out to make sure that we relocate the car power plant from Tema to Takoradi. When that is done, there is going to be sustainable gas supply directly to the power. We are not yet near the era of Dumsor. Dumsor is a thing of the past. Respectfully, let me finish, Honorable. Dumsor is a thing of the past, and we need to work to make sure that we don't come back to that era any longer. So he's explained that there's a bit of technicalities there, but we'll be fine.
No, why do we have Dumsor? Because we don't have fuel.
Okay.
The fuel comes in three forms or more. You have light crude, you have refined fuels, and you have gas. Okay. Now, for the hydro,
we're moving from Tema to Takoradi to make.
So you have the car power and other plants, the Asogle. They depend on the West African gas pipeline for gas.
Yeah.
Now all plants, and in fact, it's a policy of the Ministry of Energy that you don't come to set up a plant which uses a single source fuel. That is either light crude, refined fuel, or gas. You must have a dual fuel source. If it either uses light crude and gas, or uses light crude and refined oil, or uses refined oil and gas. And so that's number two. Number three, now if you have car power and you have West African gas pipeline flowing to Tema, and you have abundance of gas and ENI in Takoradi, what do? You do a reverse flow.
Okay.
At a point in time in the day, you should be able to connect our gas at Takoradi from the ENI fields into the West African gas pipeline, so that the reverse, you will flow it back to Tema. That's what you do.
But that's why he's relocating it.
When you don't do that, what happens? You don't have enough gas to power the plant, and so the plant will lie idle, and so you don't have enough megawatts, so you must ration power.
Wow.
That is it. He simply doesn't understand it. When you don't have, because of the lack of gas, you don't have money to buy light crude, your plant that runs on gas and light crude will be out of operation.
So that will be fixed. Will that be fixed once we relocate it from Tema to Takoradi? Or are you saying we don't need to do that?
What do we need? When we were in office, we knew that we had put the coal power plant over there. We knew that we're not going to have gas from ENI, and that we needed to be able to transport the gas to Tema to power the plants over there. Asogle needs a lot of gas.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you have other Tema plants that need gas. Now, the only gas available in Tema is the West African gas pipeline gas. Now, Nigeria too is developing its plants. We knew then that even we can't be assured of constant flow of gas from Nigeria, because Nigeria was now turning into use of clean energy for energy production. They were not flaring their gas any longer. So when we develop our gas fields, because the plants are in Tema, and some in Takoradi, and the gas available cannot be consumed entirely by the gas plants or the thermal plants in Takoradi, you needed to, like water, you needed to pipe the gas
to
Takoradi. Now you already have a platform and infrastructure. It's already there.
So you don't need to.
You don't need to remove anything. You just connect that infrastructure. During the period of time that you have gas flowing from Nigeria, that gas from Takoradi ceases, doesn't flow. And during the time that you don't have gas or an arrangement, you just close that tap from Nigeria and allowed our gas
to flow.
That's what we call reverse flow. You can use one pipeline to flow to Takoradi and the same pipeline to flow from Takoradi to Tema.
So why aren't we doing that now?
Because they don't know.
Okay. Eric, can you please help us?
You see, I get a bit confused with the commentary that comes from our friend from the NDC. And I can state categorically and reiterate the fact that Dumsor is not back.
Well, a lot of people have had their lights out. I don't know if you've been following the trends on social media. Ghanaians have been complaining that Dumsor might be back.
We experience what real Dumsor is for close to 4 years under the NDC administration. Okay. The refrain or the commentary that has come from them over the period is that they actually fixed Dumsor. Now, if you're going by that logic in itself, then what it means is that it is, and that's the case, then it means that there's absolutely no possibility of having Dumsor back. But that's not.
So Dumsor is gone because the minority.
No, I'm just saying that I'm just developing a point.
Okay.
You see, there were some challenges with gas coming from Nigeria. It is something that has happened over a period. That issue has actually been resolved, and I believe that in the next few days or so, the issue of having that rampant power supply would not happen again. But again, government is also clear about the fact that there are a lot of things that needs to be done to forestall a reoccurrence of the infamous Dumsor that was actually brought to us by our friends from the NDC, where businesses had to collapse and everything.
But what are we experiencing right now? Because it looks as though we're experiencing symptoms of Dumsor, and we are not hearing anything from government. So what's
if you were in this country,
I was in this country at that time.
Without justifying the lights going off even for a minute, what we are experiencing today is nowhere close to the things that had happened in the
People in Waja did not have electricity for 6 hours on Friday, Eric. And so many communities have experienced the same thing. What exactly is going on?
I am not saying that the lights have not gone off. And I'm saying that if you were in this country and you experienced what has actually found its way into a global lexicon, Dumsor, which did not exist until the NDC took power.
And we're experiencing it now.
We are not experiencing,
Why are we experiencing something similar right now? What's
but that
going
is why
on?
I'm saying that I don't want to sit here and even justify.
These have gone on for days in certain communities, and I can tell you the communities right now. At least in Accra, Teshi, parts of Adenta, Dansoman, East Airport, we have almost 15 communities, and that's what we have. We haven't even counted your area, you know, South La, Santa Maria. So it's not fair to just assume the lights just went on for a few minutes. People have not had lights for days, and they don't know what's going on. So can you help us understand?
Yeah, but then you are not asking. You're not. Let me.
Okay, please continue. Sorry.
I'm saying that I'm not going to sit here and justify that it is okay for anybody's light to go on for just a minute, let alone hours. But I have also stated that there were some challenges with NGAS, and that issue has been resolved.
Okay.
You understand? But I'm saying that I'm quite surprised that my honorable friend here is so almost I've been speaking with glee and happy that the things that Ghanaians had to suffer under their watch, close to 4 years under their watch, right? He's happy that to even try and wish it upon us. And I'm saying that that is not the case. Again, there's no load shedding, and there won't be any load shedding. There won't be any Dumsor. Government is committed to making sure that, as we speak today, we are going to forestall the circumstances that led to Dumsor to start with. But even as we are speaking, once the issues have been resolved there, and the minister has also stated that, even in the event of areas where we would have to, the plant that needs gas, to make sure that we have adequate supply of light crude to deal with this situation. That is a commitment of government. So for me, it's to say that, okay, the lights have gone off in the last few weeks or so, and then we have basically gone back to the Dumsor era. It's not really the case, because we experienced what Dumsor was. Listen, for instance, there are areas where they are experiencing this thing. If you ask other people too, they haven't had the same challenges.
Yeah.
But in the past, you'd open the daily graphic and you see that the whole entire Greater Accra is off. The entire we've had
in the
occasions
past, when you do
Honorable, respectfully,
you don't understand.
Okay, I will allow
listen.
you to respond,
Listen,
Honorable.
We've had situations in this country where you wake up and in the middle of the night, the entire city is off.
Okay.
We have
cities, you understand?
The NDC, we had it 3 times. That's what was called system failure.
Okay.
We had it 3 times.
Please allow Eric to finish, and then you respond.
So if we are going to go even by that, those standards, those are extremely low standards that were bequeathed to us, and you look at what is happening today, Ghanaians will be happy to have
but you're saying this is going to be fixed.
That situation would be fixed.
Okay, so we're not going to have lights out.
Listen, I will not sit here, and that is not my style. I will not sit here and in even 1 minute justify and suggest that if a government like that of the MPP sits down with the benefit of hindsight for all the things that has happened and where we want to go as a country, should allow a situation like Dumsor to happen. No, I will not countenance that. It is, apart from the fact that I speak for government, I'm a citizen of this country. The people who run businesses and all of those things. So it's also almost like a challenge to the Ministry of Energy that if well and truly we have had challenges and gas, there has to be, like, and I would agree that so this whole thing that, the minister has absolutely no clue and doesn't know what's happening.
It's extreme.
It's unfair. Yeah. You have professionals. You have technical people who work at the Ministry of Energy, who work in the various agencies under the Ministry of Energy, who, so basically what Honorable is saying is that every single one of them is inept, has absolutely no clue, and does know what to do.
Okay.
But
we will let him speak for himself.
Honorable,
we will allow him
knows
speak for himself.
everything about
Eric,
the energy
thank
sector,
you very much.
and that he's actually profane of it. That's fine. They will listen to you.
Okay.
But Dumsor is not back and won't be back.
Thank you very much.
Listen
Honorable, just briefly respond.
And they know that I know
So it's not back. Eric is saying it's not back. It's just a temporary issue.
What's load shedding?
There's no load shedding. There's no load shedding.
So where did our power go off?
No, but I have admitted that there has been challenges.
We've had challenges.
But
We're going to be fixed, and then we're going to be fine.
But
he's saying that we had some small challenges, and we'll be fine moving forward.
What we did was that we put people on notice that some areas will go off. That's why Eric is able to refer to it.
Yeah.
That's good governance. You put
but
people
that
on
is
notice.
4 years.
You put people on notice. So Eric can now say that you open the graphic. Today, you are reading. Even your list doesn't include my area. It doesn't include Tamale. That is the difference between us and NPP. They hide the truth.
Okay.
Look, the engineers know what is good. They know how to fix the system. The politicians and the MPP refuse to listen. It is the same engineers who advised they are able to stabilize power and provide a constant flow of electricity at cheap source. We should sign on to more power plants, IPPs, and ensure that we provide the necessary redundancies. But those IPPs must run on gas, and that any gas plant must also have the potential to convert and become a dual cycle plant, so that the heat can be trapped, and then you pass it over water, and then generate steam, and then that adds to power. The cost of electricity will reduce thereby. They advise, but the politicians and the MPP don't listen.
Okay.
We advise that in order to clear the legacy debt, we must do ASLA, so that we will have constant flow of money, so that the letters of credit that were issued by the banks, which was threatening the collapse of the Ghana Commercial Bank, will be dealt with. they condemned it and called it nuisance tax. What have they done? They've gone to securitize the amount of money and collected money. So banks are no longer able to look up to ESLA to be able to give importers of light crude letters of credit because the money is not there. They've already securitized and collected the money.
Wow.
So that is what I'm talking about. It's strategy.
It's going to be fixed now, so we're not going to have light off anymore, according to government spokesperson. So, Eric, can you give us a timeline on what's going to happen, if you have it, of this whole energy situation?
Well, to start with, I think that it would be erroneous to say that we have an energy situation.
We just have challenges with electricity.
I believe strongly that the issues will be fixed. The minister has admitted that there were challenges with the supply of gas from NGAS, which has been resolved. There's also attendant things that are being put in place to mitigate the challenge, you understand? So that once you, and he's attested to the fact that once most of the plants now have dual energy sources. So really, there is absolutely no justification for that. Now, if that happens, what it means is that we probably have other technical issues that needs to be resolved and be open and transparent to the Ghanaian people there, and that's it. But so there's absolutely no reason for me to doubt the fact that if that was the case, because that is not even smart PR. If you say that the issue has been fixed and the issue actually festers and it continues, then you can't come back. You understand? We don't want to go back to the NDC era where the president will come at a time and so we will fix that in December. We will do this thing.
Will we hear more communication?
That for me is something that I can see to and admit that, well, as and when it was happening, we should have been quick. We should have acted with dispatch and said that, okay, this particular area, because we can know that in anticipation, unless, of course, it's something that happens as an act of whatever. We can do that, you see, and our governance has to evolve to a point where we are seen to be more responsive
and proactive
rather than being reactive. Otherwise, I mean, if you say that the issue is terrible and that this has to go off, people will plan. People want to cook their food and put it in the fridge. People want to leave their homes. They have other things to do. It's also a responsibility. You see, there's also we have ECG, we have GridCo, we have VRA. We have players within the sector who all have PR divisions, right? And so that communication should come out so that it doesn't always mean that the minister would have to come and say that, there's going to be, for instance, a power outage in my neighborhood, for instance. They have to act with some kind of proactiveness, especially when you know that these issues are happening. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Thank you.
I see to that.
Thank you both. And I think we're all hopeful.
Concluding remarks are what makes me like him.
Okay. Better days.
We need to be transparent. We need to be open. For instance, I know as a matter of fact, Eric, that when you continuously run your plants on light crude, and then you immediately get gas, and you want to run your light crude on gas.
It takes a while
because the suit would have, and the nozzles will clock, and then you have to take them off, and then so you have to put off power. Now you talked about the value chain. So you have the generators, those who generate power. Then you have the transmission, and then you have the distribution. So generation is VRA and IPPs, and so with that power, GridCo, which is only a toll system, move the power from the generation to the distributor. So it only provides the toll.
Wow.
Okay? That's its role. And they can only move power if it's available.
Okay. Thank you. I have to end you there, and then we move to the last topic that we're going to discuss. It says here, Avoke will be declared persona non grata. UEW wants naive lawyer, and that naive is in quotation. So the Governing Council of the University of Education, Winneba, has described as baseless a request for the reinstatement of dismissed Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Mauto Avoke, the former Finance Officer, Dr. Theophilus, and the former Finance Officer, Dr. Theophilus Senior. And I'm going to quote the Governing Council briefly. They said, your WAP interpretation of the Supreme Court judgment delivered on the 31st of October 2018 that your client be reinstated is not only wrong in law, but has no factual basis. Finally, I want to state for the avoidance of doubt that your client still remain dismissed staff of the university and will be declared persona non grata and dealt with in accordance with the law should they assemble on our campus for the purpose of following your naive advice of coming to reoccupy their former office. Be advised. Honorable, let's hear your thoughts on this.
Who wrote that statement?
That was coming from the Governing Council.
The chairman or what?
Yes.
And who is that?
The Governing Council. Let me see. This is just the Governing Council, actually.
I don't want to know who
I'll find them for you.
The statement.
I'll find
Because
that for you.
Is it in a paper? Or
I'm actually reading from City Newsroom.
Yes, so I'm surprised that
I'll find the person for you.
The one who uttered the statement from the Governing Council had the impudence and temerity to call Professor Atuga a naive lawyer. I'm just surprised because, you see, how did it happen? So many months ago, we heard of a fracas within the institution, University of Education, Winneba, that some, consequent upon the election of the MPP, some staff members were agitating for a change in leadership at the university. Matters came to a head when the sacked the Avoke and some other persons. Never mind that those persons were of a particular tribal inclination, tribal group. Now, these people sent the matter to court because they felt, believed, and thought that they were wrongly done by. And so their rights had to be vindicated in court. Now, the court, without hearing the parties, one of the fundamental principles of justice is to hear all parties in the matter, especially where the matter concerns the enforcement of the fundamental rights of a citizen of this country, or any person in this country.
So the letter came from the Governing Council and it was signed by the chair, actually.
The chair.
Yeah, the chair signed the letter, but it's from the Governing Council.
The High Court proceeded to give effect to the alleged dismissal of these persons without hearing them. Gross breach of the rules of natural justice.
Okay.
Now, there was an appeal to the Supreme Court over the dismissal on the grounds that for the Supreme Court to quash the decision of the High Court on grounds that they had violated, breached, infringed the fundamental rights, the rules of natural justice in not listening to the other party. Yeah. The president was then scheduled to visit the Central Region. Yeah. He was warned, cautioned, because of the high office of the president, not to bring it into disrepute and muddy the waters in the University of Education, Winneba, to stay off. Yeah. What did the president say? The president said, I've always said that with due respect to Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, the president of the Republic of Ghana, he's constantly, since becoming a president, constituted himself into a judge and jury.
Okay. I have to end you here. I have to end you here
and hear from Eric.
I have to end you here and hear from Eric. Eric, your concluding statements on this.
I would not sit here and pretend that I know the full details of this thing. I will take it from almost like a corporate governance issue in our public universities. I mean, recently we had to grapple with KNUST and some of the issues. And I feel that as a people, we probably have to find a way of strengthening the corporate governance structure. I mean, some of these things that do happen, as it were, becomes a situation where you find some level of disquiet between the governing council, the chancellor, the lecturers and students and all of this. And with a country that we've been running these universities for quite a while, I think that it's inevitable that we get to a point where we'll deal with the issues. For me, once the issue has gone to court and people have different interpretations of it, we know what to do. You go back to court. You go back to the Supreme Court if you want, for them to make a categorical determination of the matter. For anybody to decide that I will go to the campus and go and sit in the office and everything, it's irresponsible to start with, because that in itself can now degenerate into something else. Because if they were minded in the beginning to use the judicial process, they should follow through to the logical conclusion. I really struggle to understand why we create a certain, almost like a dogmatic entrenched position when it comes to issues of this country. Let's follow the law and deal with it.
Thank you very much. Eric Amarkuchum is the government spokesperson, and of course, Honorable Inusaf Hussaini is the MP for Tamale Central. Thank you both for being here with me, and thank you at home.
My pleasure.
Breakfast Daily continues. Don't go anywhere.
Yes, sir.
Jakoro Ventures Limited is the waste service provider franchised by the AMA to provide services within Osuklote Sub-Metro. We also operate within Zone 2 of the Adentan Municipal Assembly. Our proficient refuse and segregated waste collection crew ensures timely and quality service delivery at every service point. Our friendly management and supervisory staff are always available on call for our cherished clients. We engage in partner organizations to clean up the city and beaches as part of our corporate social responsibility towards making Accra the cleanest city in Africa. Embark on public sensitization and educational outreaches on environmental and sustainable waste management options. We advocate reuse and self-separation of waste, paper, plastic, and organic, to which value can be added through recycling. Smega 16 award-winning company in waste and recycling manufacturing. Implementing partner to Mayor of Accra initiative on waste segregation in basic schools in Osuklote. Jakora, the waste management professionals.
Beauty, they say, lies in the eyes of the beholder. And at Second Image, getting that beauty is our priority, with services for facials for spots and wrinkles, body treatment for body shaping and slimming, hairstyling for bridal dressing, body massage, manicure and pedicure, artificial nail extensions. Guarantees you that perfect body and skin. Second Image also offers training for students in hairdressing, beauty therapy and fashion, and design up to HND level. Our course duration ranges from 2 to 6 weeks for short courses, or up to 2 years. Second Image also runs a special foundation program for JHS leavers in hair and beauty therapy, dressmaking and electronics. Contact us now on 0243-331-999 or 0302-221-376. Or you can locate Second Image next to Adabraka Police Station, Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, or visit us at secondimagghana.com. Admissions run throughout the year. Second Image gives you a new image. Second Image, be empowered to succeed.
Sapphire, in collaboration with Aqua Safari, present KSM Unchained.
No, slow down, folks. You see, when it comes to NPP, NDC politics, it's pure genetics. It is called by their names, you shall know them. Oh, you think I'm lying? Let me mention one name and tell me if you know which party, huh? Okay, take this. Famous Akodonu.
Unchained and Uncensored. December 7th at the National Theatre. Time 4 and 8 p.m. Rates 60 Ghana cedis flat for 4 p.m. show. 80 Ghana cedis regular for 8 p.m. show. For limited VIP 8 p.m. tickets, call 0266 699 249. 0266 699 249. Media partners. Sponsors: Ghana National Theatre,
Cactus Creek, Faye Gift Shop, Inkit, Food 101, Ticket Outlets, Bachwana Total, Starbite East Legon, Airport Shell, Silverbed Cinema, Accra Mall, East Cantonment Pharmacy, East Legon, Ghana National Theatre, Faye Gift Shop.
Bayer Wild Rough, KSM, Unchained and Uncensored.
This is the point of view. We are live on City TV this and every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m.
Tune in to The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guests, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day.
All that the industry is saying is that this tax will be incident on the person it's intended to. But when it comes to the pricing itself, individual pricing, not only are the telcos even pricing for everybody. Bernard, I don't know which network you're on. The price you get on your network will be different from the price I get. So in terms of competition amongst our members, it's as intense as anything.
The Point of View with Bernard Avlet, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on City TV.
Quero ver todo mundo balançando. Ninguém pode ficar parado. É só loucura. Catch the premiere of Brazil Avenue on Wednesday, 5th December 2018 at 10 p.m. Only on City TV.
Oi, 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 oi. Vem pra quebrar. Com tudo vamos tentar. Oi, oi, oi. Oi, 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 oi.
For regular news checks as they unfold, 2020 news all day, all the time. Politics, sports, entertainment, business, and more.
And that's all for 2020 news on City TV. All the news in 20 minutes.
City TV is live. City TV is a free-to-air digital channel. On a digital TV, please press menu on your remote control and run a news search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a multi-TV digibox. Tune into City TV and experience your world. City TV, it's your world.
Hey family, my name is Joe Metal and you're watching Breakfast Daily on City TV. Keep watching, don't go nowhere. Good morning Ghana, good morning world. You're in tune to the Breakfast Daily on City TV. Stoneboy says so. Keep it locked, don't log off. Beep.
I know about that photo. Saying Tim Titia who I go talk to. Yeah. This is Kwesiata and you're watching Breakfast Daily. Ground up to the top. Boy.
Jealousy go shame. I can see bad boy. Jealousy go shame. Whoa. What's up, guys? Your boy Kitty, and right now you are watching Breakfast Daily. Oh, Lord of mercy. Let's go.
For regular news checks as they unfold, 2020 news all day, all the time. Politics, sports, entertainment, business, and more.
And that's all for 2020 news on City TV. All the news in 20 minutes.
City TV is live. City TV is a free-to-air digital channel. On a digital TV, please press menu on your remote control and run a news search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a multi-TV digibox. Tune into City TV and experience your world. City TV, it's your world.
This is The Point of View. We are live on City TV this and every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m.
Tune in to The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guests, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day.
All that the industry is saying is that this tax will be incident on the person it's intended to. But when it comes to the pricing itself, individual pricing, not only are the telcos even pricing for everybody. Bernard, I don't know which network you're on. The price you get on your network will be different from the price I get. So in terms of competition amongst our members, it's as intense as anything.
The Point of View with Bernard Avlet, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on City TV. Let's take you on a journey of discovery, the incredible sights, artifacts, music, and adventure. It is what makes life worth living. Our history, the arts, and soul. Art and Soul with Melissa Awad. Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. Only on City TV.
Art and soul, art, soul, art and soul, art, yeah, soul, art and soul, art, soul, art and soul.
Get the backstory of the major news stories on Press Conference. Hear from the editors and the reporters behind the biggest stories of the week.
The university needs to think and reconsider. There are women who are in our universities who have been sexually molested for grades. That doesn't matter.
Press Conference every Sunday at 9 p.m. with Duke Mensa Opoku. Only on City TV. Analysis of the most exciting football league in the world. Don't miss the stats, the news, and the debate. Get expert opinions on who makes the Fantasy League Premier League Team of the Week. It's the Premier League Preview Show.
You cannot in a lifetime compare the players in Pep's team last season to that of what Mourinho had in his first season. Jose Mourinho's squad of 2004-2005 were miles ahead of Pep Guardiola's team.
The Premier League Preview Show every Friday at 3 p.m. only on City TV.
Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily on City TV. Now we're going to talk about making teaching fun. A couple of months ago, a video went viral of a young Ghanaian teacher who had a very unique way of engaging her students. We are so honored to be joined by Madina Educhumwa Asare from, she's an amazing teacher. She's going to tell us all about what inspired her. We also be joined by some of her students. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. How are you guys?
We are fine.
So, Madina, how long have you been teaching?
For 3 years.
For 3 years?
Yes.
What inspired you to start teaching?
Because what inspired me was that I love kids and I always want to be with them. So that gave me the chance to teach
Wow. So I'll get back to you, but I want to get to know these lovely kids. Hello, what's your name?
Georgina Bekomensa.
You want to say that again?
Georgina Bekomensa.
How old are you, Georgina?
5 years.
Wow. What's your name? Yeah, you can hold it. You can hold it. Take it. Take it, Vanessa. What's your name?
My name is Vanessa Osei Poma.
Vanessa Osei Poma. How old are you, Vanessa?
4 years.
Wow. They're so cute, Kwaku.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. And let me have the microphone. Let me have the microphone. And what's your name?
Angela Fiankuma.
Say it again.
Angela Fiankuma.
Is it Angela?
Angel Efiankoma.
Angel Efiankoma.
Ankoma. Okay. And how old are you?
5 years old.
5 years old. Wow.
You're so
What about you?
Abdul Salim Ali.
Say it again.
Abdul Salim Ali.
Abdul Salim Ali. Okay. How old are you?
5 years.
You're 5 years old. All right. Do you remember when you were 5?
I couldn't mention my name when I was 5. I was like, what is that? Wow. How do we make teaching fun?
By creating something fun or educative that's going to make them feel happy and also motivated. That's also a way to make school fun. You should bring something, do research, and a whole lot. That's going to make education fun. Yeah.
Where did you get the idea of the fancy greeting with all the kids?
Okay, the idea was given to me by my headmaster.
Okay.
Mr. Takra. He showed me the video and I had to add my own style. I didn't want it to be the same. I wanted to create something different.
Okay.
So I had to teach them for 3 good days.
Wow.
Yes, and I added my own style, and it was easy. I didn't want it to be very tough for them because they are very young, 5 years.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that easy, but they got it. So
you actually saw a video of someone else doing the greeting, a teacher doing greetings with the kids, and then you created something for them.
Yes.
Okay,
It works.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I don't know how many people have seen it. Maybe
Yes, they will show them. But I wanted to ask you, how important is it for children to start their day off with positivity and enthusiasm? How does that translate to the education that they get in school?
Okay, I call it a handshake, and we do it every morning, and it uses time. If you don't come early, you're not going to get a handshake.
Wow.
So we are learning about time, how to
be prompt,
and how to manage your time. So they always want to come to school on time and get a handshake, and it also motivates them in a way that they always want to come to school. They feel happy and they are always free. Like the relationship between me and them are very tight. They tell me everything when they need something. Like they don't get bored.
So they don't feel like you are an authority and they are
No.
You don't have that kind of relationship with
We are
them.
friends.
And how important is that for a teacher to be friends with his or her students, especially at this age?
It depends on the teacher. We are all not the same, so it depends on how you treat them and how you do to them. That's going to make the love, create something love and something positive for them.
Now David wants to see the handshake, so you got to show us.
Okay.
Are you ready, guys? Gonna do the handshake. She's like, okay, I'm awake now. Okay, let's see.
Okay.
All right.
He's very small.
Should we move the table? I'm tempted to move the table. Oh,
nice.
Aww, look at this.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well done.
Wow.
So, how many kids do you have?
Okay. They are 31.
And you have a different shake for everyone.
Actually, they've moved to the next class.
Okay.
the handshake class. They've moved to class 1. I'm teaching KG2.
Okay.
So these are a new batch?
My new batch. And they are 40. They are now 40 students.
You do this with 40
no,
students?
No, they just came, so I've started teaching them.
Teaching them. Okay, so you develop... No, but she's going to do it eventually. She will develop it for everyone.
all 40 of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do you get the inspiration to go the extra mile as a teacher? Because I think my coach and I are always complaining about teachers just doing the barest minimum, complaining about money, money, money. And then you see a teacher who actually deeply cares about her work, wants to invest so much in the development of her students. And you're like, where does she get her inspiration from?
Teaching is about the passion. I believe that if you have the passion, you can do more and make the kids love you. If you don't have passion for something, it's good. It's a very good thing.
This is exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
But the compassion.
Let's go back to KG.
I think it's natural because I love kids naturally. So they get to me anytime. Even some kids, I don't know them, but they always come closer to me. I think it's natural.
I think you know, kids have a very good sense of positive energy versus negative, you know, and they'll draw to people who make them feel welcome and warm, you know, and you're open. Yeah, they can sense it, and I feel as though what she's done has basically created a certain aura around her that allows them to feel, I don't need to be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. Yeah. I can go to her if I have an issue, which is really, I mean, at this age, this is what they need, you know. Yeah.
So I'll start with you. What's your name again?
It's off.
What's your name?
My name is Georgina Belkumensa.
Georgina, how do you feel when you do this greeting?
I feel that I am good.
Oh, she said she feels that she's good.
She feels that she is good when she does the Okay. So let's start with you as well. Tell us how you feel when you do the greetings.
That's Vanessa. Right?
Vanessa, let me give it to you. You're a big girl. You can handle the mic. How do you feel after the greetings? Her face says it all. She's like, I'm happy.
I am happy.
What about you? After you do your little dance, how do you feel? Are you ready to learn?
Yes.
Aww. How long did it take you to learn it?
She's very
You're like, now we're on the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard you've been nominated for some award.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about it?
Let me have that.
Actually, I didn't win the award, but I feel happy that I was nominated and my kids were rewarded rather. They were given some presentations and I feel proud of them and I feel proud of myself too. Even though I didn't get anything, I feel proud that I was nominated and I believe that there is more to come.
Yeah. Do you have any
And
advice?
I'm not giving up. I'm still doing that. Like, this is not the end. Yeah. I'm still working hard.
And we're proud of you. We're extremely proud of you. I think for most of us, teachers played a key role in our development, right? Yes. So when you find the right teacher, you're literally set for life.
Yeah. No, and I think that setting the kids off at this stage, you know, when you go and run 100 meters, you do on your marks, get set before you go, right? This is the on your marks, get set stage of their lives, you know. So if you get it right, there's no looking back from here, you know. So I think it's fantastic what you're doing. Yeah.
Now, my final question for you is emotional intelligence, right? So not only at this level, but primary, JSS, SSS. I think a couple of weeks ago we were all saddened by the situation that happened in KNUST, where adult students felt as though their teachers didn't care for them and they were hurting, right? So the way they exhibited their pain was to pretty much just destroy the campus because their needs were not being met. How do we input? How do we add emotional intelligence in everything that we do, right, from KG1 all the way to the university level, as teachers, as professors, as people in academia?
Okay, what I would say is that they should be hard in everything they do. Like, they shouldn't give up. They should just try as much as they are teachers, because being a teacher is not easy. You just have to sacrifice for your child to be successful. So they should just sacrifice and give all they have for them, because they are the future. And at this age, they are the basic. So when they get something from that stage, it's going to grow in them. When they grow, they will never forget. It will be in them. It will be like, they will never forget. It will be part of them, and they can't stop mentioning your name, that, hey, this teacher, and she did this for me, he did this for me. So we should just set example for the kids, so that when they grow, they will mention our names, like, in a good way, not in a bad way. As in, this teacher, she used to beat us, and she used to a whole lot.
No, I'm curious also to find out what your thoughts are regarding what you're doing for the kids in the school to help parents to function in a similar way at home. What do parents think? First of all, what do parents think of this? And then, is there anything that you can share? Because a lot of parents are watching, you know. So, is there anything you can share with them as to what they can do to
also help?
Also help. Yeah.
Okay, I want to tell parents, guardians, or everyone that they should, when the kids come home, they should try their possible best to help them, as in maybe homework and everything, and English speaking. When they go home, most of them, they speak Twi. So they should try their best to let them speak English, and also help them in writing, because at this stage, the writings and the language, English, they are not perfect. But when they come, because they have full time in the house, school is just, okay, just
a short period.
But when they are home, they can communicate with their parents more than we, the teachers. And their parents also know them well than us. We are just caretakers, teachers. So when they go, their parents know more about them. So I would say that they should be concerned. If the teachers say they should buy these books, they shouldn't say that she's very young.
What do parents think of what you're doing right now?
They love it. They are telling me to keep doing it, and they bring me gifts, presents.
So as far as the parents are concerned, it's clearly doing something good for them.
Yes, it's doing something good for them. And I had a visitor from California, and she came to visit the kids because of my video. Yes.
Wow.
And I think I'm proud of myself and the kids as well, because they are the future.
Yeah, fantastic.
Now touch a bit on love. How important is love? Because I think from childhood, me, for example, I would be at a store and parents are with their kids, and the only time they talk to the kid is when the kid does something wrong. Like, stop it, you this. You know, how important is it to not only focus on, you know, correcting them when they do something wrong, but actually cultivating love and fun with them? They shouldn't only have fun amongst their peers, they should have fun with their parents or their guardian as well.
I would say they should have fun, but some of the parents are not that more closer. They like insulting and beating them. That one is true. In Ghana here is very common. So when they come to school and you show them love, I think that they will love you more than their parents. If they are coming to school, oh, teacher will do this for me, teacher will do this for me. So I would say that all parents should be like teachers to their
So maybe I think one of the positive things that you can also help the parents with is to help them to be more warm and open to their kids. You know, so draw the kids in rather than giving them only feedback when they've done something wrong. You know,
and they should appreciate their children. They shouldn't say, like, she's not good, like she can't do this. They should just motivate them. Yeah, she's good. They shouldn't be telling people that she can't do this. Kids are very emotional. They do cry and they do feel shy at times. So we should just take notice of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. Medina Ejichumwa Asare from Diamond State Academy, and all her kids are trying to spell breakfast daily. So you can see here that they are very smart kids. instead of just playing around, they're still trying to find some intellectually stimulating activity to do.
And they're challenging each other over there.
I don't think I was trying to spell at my age. Were you spelling at age 4 and 5?
Nah. I'm sure I wasn't.
So guys, we're going to say a bye to the viewers, okay?
Say bye-bye.
Say bye.
Say bye.
Okay, so look at this camera here and say bye-bye.
So guys, don't go anywhere, okay? Breakfast Daily still continues. We'll just take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
I know about that photo. Saint Tim Titia who I go talk to, yeah. This is Kwesiata and you're watching Breakfast Daily. Ground up to the top. Oh yeah.
What's up, Ghana? You already know it's your boy Captain to the Planet, aka Mr. Very Good Bad Guy, aka Gangin and Bangin, aka Obiaji Obige, and you are watching Breakfast Daily on City TV. Captain to the Planet.
Jealousy go shame against the bad boy. Jealousy go shame. Whoa. What's up, guys? Your boy Kitty, and right now you are watching Breakfast Daily. Oh, Lord of mercy. Let's go.
Let's take you on a journey of discovery. The incredible sights, artifacts, music, and adventure. It is what makes life worth living. Our history, the arts, and soul. Art and Soul with Melissa Awad. Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. Only on City TV.
Art and soul, art, soul, art and soul, art, yeah, soul, art and soul, art, soul, art and soul.
Quero ver todo mundo balançando, ninguém pode ficar parado, é só loucura!
Catch the premiere of Brazil Avenue on Wednesday, 5th December 2018 at 10 p.m. Only on City TV.
Oi, 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 vem pra quebrar, com tudo vamos tentar, com tudo. Oi, 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 oi.
It's inspiration. It's the word. The teachings.
The test of life is what you do with power and is what you do with blessing. The test of life is what you do with favor. The test of life is what you do with promotion. Whether it's political, economic, financial, or spiritual, the test of life is what you do with the blessing and with power and with resources.
Tune in to Voice of Inspiration with Archbishop Duncan Williams every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. on City TV.
Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily on City TV, and of course, every Monday we're joined by Akosua. She's going to teach us a bit about dealing with type 2 diabetes and high sugar, right, in general. What kind of meals you should be making. Don't be eating too many carbs when you have type 2 diabetes, for example, a lot of sugar. Good morning, Akosua. How are you?
Good morning, Jifa. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Now, David, tell us a bit about what you know about type 2 diabetes while I help her wash her hands.
I understand it because it's something we studied in school. But mind you, I left school 20 years ago, so yeah, it's been a while. It's you know, there are two types of diabetes. The first one is a genetic one that you're born with.
Yes, that's the type 1.
That's type 1. So type 2 basically comes on as you're growing.
Your lifestyle choices.
Yes, and it's sometimes referred to as an adult onset diabetes.
Yes.
So that's basically.
You're pretty good. I'm impressed.
We remember small. I mean, at least we studied in school, so we have to try and remember some of the things.
So, Akosia, I want you to tell us a bit about why it's important to take this diet change things seriously once you've been diagnosed? And then I'll help David wash his hands.
All right.
Okay.
To start with, diabetes, in a layman's language, has to do with high levels of glucose or sugar in our blood or our bloodstream. So our body runs on glucose. Without glucose, just like any car, a car cannot move without fuel, petrol or diesel. So our body moves on glucose. And so when there is an excessive increase in your sugar level, we term it as diabetes. We have various types. You know the type 1 and type 2. We have pre-diabetes.
Wow.
We have gestational diabetes. And with the pre-diabetes...
The gestational one is when you're pregnant,
yes,
right?
So it's diabetes people get because or through pregnancy. So when you are lucky, in some women, if they meet a nutritionist or if their doctors are able to detect and refer them to a nutritionist, then something can be done about it. But in some women, after delivery, once gestation is gone because baby is out, it means that diabetes stays.
Wow.
Yes, and we have pre-diabetes. A lot of people move about with pre-diabetes because just like all the other types, most of the patients or clients don't present signs of these conditions. Yes, so if you are not lucky to show forth some of these signs, it might be difficult for us to know. And once you have pre-diabetes, if it's not checked or corrected, in 10 years' time, you will be diabetic.
Wow.
You have DM, diabetes mellitus. That's the second, the type 2.
Okay, so what are we about to make today? Is it breakfast, lunch? It looks like breakfast.
Oh no, we have something to work on your diabetes. It's not food, but it's a smoothie. And then there is a specialty here. So, Jifa, what can you read here?
It says, assist in controlling diabetes.
It's a very powerful tea. I gave one to a client to try. I took nothing from him. He tried and called me. I think 3 weeks later, I was like, please, I need 5 of the teas.
and they're herbs, right?
They are herbs. I don't believe in medications. I believe in supplementation or supplements. Like I told you last week, Jifa, if you need 100 and you are getting 60 from what you are eating, it's my job to add the 40. Yes, so that is what it does. This lowers your blood glucose. There are a lot of things going on as far as information out there is concerned, and I believe that people need to know some of these things. There are a lot of things to look out for. You have people having dark patches on their skin. If you have a dark patch, especially you see that in the men, their faces, they have darker patches and it itches. If it's itching, you would have to rush to a good pharmacy and check your blood glucose, because some of these pharmaceutical shops are doing it free of charge. And so we really need to be paying attention to ourselves. If you are necessarily putting on weight, you would have to check. If you are necessarily losing weight too, you would have to check. If you are peeing a lot, if you have adolescents, especially the type 1, they urinate a lot. The insipidus, they urinate a lot, and some even at 10, 11 are still bedwetting. They are all signs of type 1 diabetes. And the type 2 to blurred vision. So most of the times people get to know when they go for eye checks and other things, because their vision is affected, and it runs through type 1, type 2. Pre-diabetes, you may get away because you are not even aware of it, and you may be working with it for years without knowing that you are diabetic. But once you are 10 years in it, there will be a problem. And gestational diabetes, like we said, you can do something about it, yes. And we have secondary diabetes. With the secondary diabetes, you know that the type 1, the beta cells that produces insulin are destroyed by the immune system. But the secondary diabetes, the same thing that happens with the type 1 happens there, but with the secondary one, their beta cells are in place. Nothing has affected their beta cells. So that's why I'm saying that it's very critical for us all as normal human beings to be checking some of these things, because once you have secondary, once you have pre-diabetes, you may not show any signs, even with type 1 and type 2. Gestational diabetes is not even every obs and gynae specialist or every medical person who can detect it. Some of these things, unless you do lab or imaging. So they normally comes with diagnosis. I can't look at you and say that, Jifa, with the way you look, I think you are diabetic. No. Yeah.
So tell us a bit about what we're going to make today.
Okay, so today I had to research for you.
Aww.
Yeah. So we have apples. We are coming to do a smoothie. Okay. We have apples. Apples are very good. They are fruits and vegetables that are very good in lowering blood glucose because they have lower glycemic index. And glycemic index simply means that we calculating, or measuring how a food is able to spike your blood glucose. Yep. So when we take pineapple and all the fruits we have a vegetable, we have carrots, we have apple,
ginger.
We have ginger. Ginger is grapes. Just for just to relax us and then to improve on the flavor. We have pineapple,
and grapes.
We have grapes. The fruits are low in calories and they have low glycemic index, and I've already explained
the
glycemic index. So it means that if you take this apple or whatever we have here and bread, bread will have a higher glycemic index because bread contains basically carbohydrates. These are filled with plant-based carbohydrates. They are very, very low in carbs.
So this is sugar that's good for your body?
Yes, this is sugar that's good for your body.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of people who question the intake of sweet fruits because the argument is that if it's sweet, then it's not good for you. You know.
Is that a myth or is there a level of truth to that?
It's a myth. Okay. Because what I can say is that this is how God made pineapple. Nobody has injected something into it. So it's the kind of sugar that is very beneficial to your body. In as much as we are trying to cut down on sugar, there is this myth that once you are taking in a lot of sugar, when you are diabetic, you don't take sugar. When I draw meal plans for clients, I go like, you can take a cube or two of sugar. I'm like, it's about what you are choosing, the choices you make. So don't do the refined sugars. I like to give dark brown sugar.
Yeah, the brown sugar.
Like of good quality, because sometimes you find certain things sitting in the market and you just laugh at what is written on them. So just find a good dark brown sugar and replace it with the refined sugar, or you can do sweetness.
What about honey?
Honey is very good, but honey, you need to watch it seriously.
Okay, so
when you are diabetic. Because just like honey is just like raw sugar. So you have everything just intact in it. So it's advisable to lower it. And it's not about diabetes or whatever. Your blood can spike because you are eating too much or you are taking in more than you need, because diabetes has to do with, let's say I've taken 2 balls of kenke. My body is going to only use this ball and the remaining is just floating in my blood. That's how come as soon as you draw blood, they can detect from the chattings we have here. Yes, and when you have your blood sugar at 300 milligram per decimeter, yes, it means that there is danger, there is fire on the mountain, or 17.5 what do you call it, millimole per liter. Yes, so it's 17.5 or 300 milligram per deciliter, or 300 mg per liter. If you have that recording, normally you can't know this unless you have a test kit to do it or labs are done at the health center.
Please go through the chart with us again, because I missed some of the numbers you were saying.
Okay, so let's start with I don't know if you have it.
Yes, we have it. We'll show it.
Okay, so we have for pre-diabetes. Yes, pre-diabetes, FBS, that's the fasting blood sugar. If it is, okay, can we have the reading of sugar levels?
Sugar levels.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
If you have FBS 5.6 to 7.0 millimole per liter, it means that you have pre-diabetes.
Wow.
Fasting blood sugar has to do with we drawing blood samples on an empty stomach. So if you draw blood samples and this is what your lab results is showing, it means that you have pre-diabetes. And then we can do one after 2 hours of eating. That is the 2 hours PM. That's per meal. So wherever you see PM per meal. So after 2 hours of eating, if you draw blood samples with the kit and we have 7.8 to 11 millimole per liter, it means that you have pre-diabetes.
Wow.
When you get to gestational diabetes, if your obs and gynae specialist is able to determine that you have it and your FBS or your fasting blood sugar is 5.3 millimole per liter, it means that you have gestational diabetes. After 2 hours of eating, that's 2 hours PM, if it's 6.7 millimole per liter, after 1 hour of eating, if it's 7.8 millimole per liter, it means that you have gestational diabetes. And so if you're a pregnant lady and you really care about your health, because after gestation, if care is not taken, you'll be diabetic. You would need to really tell your doctor or your caregiver to do this check for you. And then we have the type 1 diabetes. It normally affects adolescents or younger children. We have their FBS being 7.0 millimole per liter. We have a lot of kids obese now, and it looks like it's the fashion trend. Your kid needs to be tough. They need to be big. As a parent, if your child is so big, if your child is wetting the bed after certain ages, you need to really do this check to see if this child is suffering from this. And then we have good levels for type 1 diabetes. In as much as they have it, we try to sometimes also manage it. It should be 5.6 millimole per liter, because some of them you can't do anything about it, especially the type 1. And then type 2, if they are fasting blood sugar, that's when you've not taken anything, you are between 7.0 going, it means that you have type 2 diabetes. So this is where we all need to pay critical attention to, because a lot of people are not aware that they have it. And this is a common diabetes we have in the system now. So if your FBS is 7.0 millimole per liter, it means that you have type 2 diabetes. That's the diabetes mellitus. If you eat 2 hours time, in 2 hours time after eating, you have 11.1 millimole per liter, you have type 2 diabetes. And we have the normal levels. So you should make sure that everything you are checking reflects this figure. That's the normal level. If your fasting blood sugar or blood glucose, sometimes it's FBG. If it's FBG, it's the same as sugar or glucose. The G is glucose. If it's between 4.0 to 5.4 molecular millimole, per liter, it means that you have normal levels. After 2 hours of eating, if it's 7.8
millimole per liter.
Yes, per liter. Thank you, Jifa. It means that you have a normal level. Yes, so that's what we are doing. But the picture that came initially before this one has to do with the interpretation, because sometimes you have it written in milligram. So when it's in milligram, this is yes, United States Diabetes Association. This is what they use. So if you find yourself outside US, Ghana, we don't have ours. Policymakers, please do well. Yes,
to get us our own.
Do well. There are a lot of things going on. Pay attention to nutrition. If it's mg and you want to convert it to millimole, then you look. For instance, if you have 40 and you want to convert it into mmol per liter, you would have 2.2. So that is the interpretation we have there on the board or on the screen. Yes. So Jifa, that's it. Unless you have something to ask.
No, now I want to find out what we're going to make in this shake. Now that we've seen this, so anytime we're seeing our nutritionists, we can have our own chart, so we can compare, and they will explain it to us. So if they are telling us the numbers, we should just let them explain in detail what a normal one is, what a gestational one is, so we have clarity.
Yes. Ideally, that's what we are supposed to do, but we come to the consulting room, you see a professional and you think they know so much. We don't ask questions. But some of the labs even comes with a range, so you can clearly see that this is where I'm supposed to be.
No, I'm a bit of an annoying bug when it comes to labs, because I ask questions on everything I see.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Numbers, I don't just take it as it. No.
But
I want to know what the number means.
When you're in the moment, like when I was diagnosed borderline diabetic last year, I was so shocked. Everything she said after that just
So
went
that's
over my
pre-diabetes.
head.
That
Yeah,
was
like she gave me the
pre-diabetes.
chart. She gave me all the documents.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until like a month later that I actually sat down. Because at the moment I
You were
was
depressed?
like, yeah, I'm like,
It can't be.
How can it be me? I know so many unhealthy
My
people in there.
efforts are chasing me. Okay, so we have our specialty. Jifa, can you just get
Yes.
me one of them?
Okay, so we're using our special.
If you need a
assist
specialty,
in
come to
diabetes
CTFM.
controlling tea. So we're
Yes,
going to use our
so-
special tea. And it's all herbs, guys. So it's
Yes,
nothing.
it's very natural. I'm preparing it for one because I'm sure none of us is diabetic. But if you are, this tea will do some magic for you. So
should I
Jifa,
help you pour
just-
it in? Okay. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so you let it sit in for some time so that you can have everything you want out.
Mhm.
So after 3 to 5 minutes,
Okay.
you can enjoy your tea.
Okay.
Now we are moving on to our smoothie. So that was just by the way. So,
So
Jifa,
move the tea away.
we've moved
Okay.
our tea. Now we are coming onto our second.
This is the exciting.
It's exciting part. Eh? I believe that we won't struggle with you.
No,
when it
no,
comes
no.
to eating.
Wilberforce is not that.
Okay, so everything will go in.
Okay. Everything will go in. Should I just scoop it all in or no?
Oh, Jifa.
Okay, I was just gonna dump it all in the
do
blender
it.
and call it a day.
So that they
Okay.
all know that. Please leave some of the grapes. You need to garnish it.
No.
Jifa, you're causing financial loss to the show.
Let's not do that. Okay, but I'm gonna do it fast. Okay, so we're just gonna do it really quickly. We're moving everything in here. So you said leave some of the grapes, right?
Yep.
Or leave all of the grapes.
At least 3 or 6.
Okay, so portions, guys. Remember, just count
It's
it.
just for garnishing.
Okay.
Let's go to ginger and carrots.
Yes, so we're moving to ginger. Well, carrots, not ginger yet.
Ginger was supposed to go first. My bad.
Oh, no.
Because it's very hard.
It's
But
hard,
don't
so
worry.
if you're near the blades.
Okay, so we'll chew the ginger.
Oh no,
It's fine.
I don't chew.
It's all good for us. Yay. Okay, so we're just moving to the apples now.
You've just given me an idea for my next juice.
Yay. And all that. This is good for, what is
Diabetes.
it?
Like if you are
right?
diabetic, if you have any of the types, if you are pre-diabetic, if you have type 1, type
You've
2,
taken all the
you can
grapes.
even enjoy it as a normal person because we will enjoy it. I'm not diabetic, but I will enjoy it. Jifa, are you diabetic?
Okay, so what are we doing? What are we doing with the mint?
Okay,
And
it's
the
just
oats. Oh,
to
that's-
improve on the flavor. So we
Okay,
take
some milk.
a cup of non-fat dairy or milk.
Okay. Because we're still watching our sugar. That's why we're not using
Yep, yep,
fat
yep,
milk.
yep,
So don't
yep,
go
yep,
use
yep,
those
yep.
canned milk, guys. That will just destroy
Okay,
everything.
so those of us who don't have diabetes, if we want
I
to do
nearly
this,
mentioned a brand here. eh?
No.
They would have
can
come.
we,
Yes, don't do that.
can we use any kind of milk?
Non-fat.
Those of us who are not diabetic.
It's still good to prevent
No,
it,
no.
right?
You need to eat
Prevention is
healthy.
better than cure. So don't go drinking so many canned
Jifa,
milk.
there's
You
no
need help.
Provision is better than kiosk.
Okay. Yay, we got it. So now we do the oats, right?
Yep, so the oats.
Okay.
What does the oats do? What does it contribute?
Oat is low in glycemic index.
Okay.
Remember I told you that
Yeah.
we need to.
But why are we adding it? I mean, what does it add to what
We
we're
are
doing?
making
A
a
meal.
cup of goodness for you, so we have to make sure that
You have all the
everything
goodness
is
in
intact. How many have I taken?
About 4. So
Okay,
5.
so 6 would do.
Okay. 6.
Please, there's a tablespoon.
tablespoon. And what is this?
This is mint.
Cinnamon. Okay,
No,
mint.
it's
Sorry.
mint.
That's mint.
mint.
Dried mint.
This is dried mint, but if you have the fresh ones,
You can use them
it's
as well.
very powerful. I would even prefer the fresh
fresh
ones.
So is
Yeah,
this
last
just
time
for
we had the
flavor,
fresh
or
one.
it has a contribution?
Once is a herb, there is always an amount of goodness,
Okay.
in as much as we just want to improve on the.
Okay, should I help you?
Yes.
How many do you need?
A tip.
A tip, okay.
Because we are measuring half teaspoon.
Okay, this is fine.
Yep.
Yay. And then
And the
do we add
honey?
honey or we later?
not
No, honey, I don't want to use it because.
Okay.
Because we already have a lot of sweetness
Sweets,
in
yeah.
here.
Yes,
So
and
we don't-
honey
in there.
is just direct, kind of direct goodness. I hope everything is in
Yes,
there.
we have everything that we need. Yes, we're good. So we blend away. Okay, I think the thing is not on yet. Okay, let's see. Maybe we didn't turn it on. Let me help me turn it on. Okay.
It's on. It is on.
Okay, we're gonna figure it out.
Hey,
we got it.
Jifa Dede.
We're gonna make it work.
I wish there were cubes to just add. Just so
fresh, yeah.
Like
so we want to blend
everything. It has to be very smooth.
So do you drink the tea before you have it, or
who's going to drink the tea? Because I won't drink the tea.
It's fine. I'll drink
All right.
Oh, you want some fruit diabetic tea?
You know, I'm game for everything. So bring it on. Yeah.
Is it smooth enough? You have some of the capital for some time. Let me help.
So this
okay, before I start,
yes, we'll try.
Just say that let people know how it feels like.
Okay. So I'm gonna try and drink the diabetic tea, right?
Yes, it controls
your blood sugar. So, do you want some?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay.
You can't have all the goodness by yourself.
You have to be nice because there's milk here.
A little bit of this. Okay, which one do you want?
I actually like the bland stuff, so for me, yeah.
Cheers. It's not bad.
How's the flavor like?
Oh, this is good. I like this.
It's good.
I think we had that.
I like this.
Jifa, why have you dropped the tea like that?
I finished it. I gulped it all at once.
Where can I get some more?
Okay,
this is good. This is good
Welcome to City FM.
Okay, they can come here, City TV, City FM, and get some. So I'll serve you first.
I guess I'll go downstairs and get some.
Or you can follow me.
Yes, your social media.
IG at registered_nutritionist_AAKYARP. So you DM me, I can get you the tea.
Okay, say it again, Akosia, slowly.
IG registered_nutritionist_AAKYARP. Yes.
What?
Okay, cheers.
Hey, Jifa.
Jifa.
Oh, but cheers, and you started.
Jifa, Tobo.
Oh, Jifa, why?
I thought we were supposed to like do this quickly.
Hypoglycemia is catching up with Jifa. Jifa is diabetic. Jifa has hypoglycemia.
Cheers. Okay, cheers. Should we wait for 3 seconds before we actually drink?
My brother said when he said cheers the other time, he just took it. Why?
Okay, so let's talk about what's in here.
Yes.
What do we have in here?
So
again?
we have apple, pineapple, carrots, grapes,
ginger.
We were supposed to get some of the grapes in here.
2 for each of us.
Yes. So we have the ingredients on the screen.
Okay.
Okay. Some people will prefer some strawberries, but we didn't add strawberries. But we have carrots.
You can add carrots. So you twist it how you want it because we have vegetables in there. So me saying you have to twist it doesn't also mean that Ghana people will start abusing things. So make sure that everything is proportional. So if you have 3 fruits, you can add 3 vegetables. You can add spinach. You can do it. You can add
kale and the likes.
Yes, you can add it. Kiwi, whatever you want to do. And yes, this kind of oat, the one that came, it's the best. It's very, very. Why am I even hyping it?
They didn't see it. They are not paying you for a commission, so any organic oats will be fine.
Thank you so much, Jifa.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much for being with us. This has been Breakfast Daily. Kweku David, you did amazing. I thank you so much for joining us.
Fun being here. It's fun being here, and looking forward to more of this.
Akosia, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You're always a blessing. And guys, make it a lovely day. We will see you same time tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.